We're here with Kenneth Fent with NIOSH, who is a partner in this research here at the Illinois Fire Service Institute. And we're going to call this kind of the biological station. Kenny and his team are doing the biological evaluations and the swabbing of the participants in the research. So Kenny, I'll let you kind of walk us through what this station is all about and what you guys are doing.
Sure. So what we're doing is we're collecting a variety of different kinds of biological samples. We're collecting exhaled breath, we're collecting urine, and we're collecting blood. We're also doing some skin wipes. And basically we're trying to measure what's getting onto the skin with the skin wipes and then what's getting into the body with the other measures. We do that before they fight the fire, and then we do that after. And so we have a baseline measure, and then we have a post-exposure measure, and that will tell us what's getting into the body.
So there's some preliminary work on this as well. You know the food intake, the dietary intake on the front end of this, so that's even making the baseline even stronger, is that correct?
Right.
So what are they eating and taking on before they basically participate?
So as part of this study, we asked the participants to avoid eating any char-grilled foods because we know that contributes to the PAH levels, the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. And then we also asked them to avoid any secondhand cigarette smoke or tobacco. All of that is going to contribute to what we're measuring. So we want the participants to start out basically with as low levels of those contaminants that we're measuring.
Okay, so that starts in the morning. They come in here, kind of walk us through the station and what they're experiencing right now, because you're kind of in a lull right now. They're actually participating in the burn, so they'll come back here. So walk us through that process.
When they come back?
Yeah.
The very first thing they'll do is give us a breath sample in the other room there. We want to capture that as quickly as possible because we're really looking for the volatile compounds that are in the system, and those are excreted pretty rapidly. So we'll collect that. Then they'll come in, they'll sit down. They have individual chairs that they sit at. We immediately get a skin wipe, I think that's the next one. We're collecting the wipes on the neck as well as on the hands. For some of the participants, we're also giving them cleansing wipes, so they'll clean either their hands or their neck, whatever we didn't sample, and then we measure again to see how effective the cleansing wipes are. Then we also get a blood sample, and we have some other measurements that are being done by our collaborators. And then the very last thing they give us is a urine sample.
Okay. So in comparison to last year, where we were doing interior fire attack operations on furnishings and things like this, this time we know the fuels, whether it's OSB, straw, or pallets. Is there any advantage to that? Can we start to draw some more definitive conclusions because we know the fuel?
To an extent, yes. So for example, one of the fuels is theatrical smoke. NIOSH has done some work. We know, we have a general idea of what some of the combustion products, or really not even combustion with theatrical smoke, but what some of the contaminants are with that. We know with pallet and straw that that's probably less hazardous than, say, the OSB. The OSB is really the big question mark.
Sure.
We don't know what the combustion byproducts are from that. I think we'll glean a lot of information from this study for that.
Okay. Well, so Kelsey, we talked earlier about the swabbing process. You're going to walk us through that swabbing process, show us how it is done, and then ultimately what's done with it. So,
absolutely. So like I said earlier, we have these 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter squares that just help us figure out how big of an area that we want to sample. And
so that's just literally a template so you know what size to swab.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we'll place it on the bottom part of the jacket.
Okay.
And then we will take an alcohol wipe. And totally open it up. And then I'm going to vigorously rub in this area because I want to try and get as much of whatever is on here on this wipe.
So now we talked too about the SCBA. That particular place is done on all the turnout gear regardless of what their assignment is, if they're truck or engine. Okay.
Exactly. We want to try and reduce the variability as much as possible so we can get the best representation for a sample.
Okay.
I usually rub for about 30 seconds, and then once I'm done, I'll put it in this black Falcon tube.
Okay.
And they're dark in color, so light can't get through, because the PAHs that we want to sample for are UV reactive.
Okay.
So if they interact with UV light, they can dissipate, and then our sample is completely void.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So that goes off to the lab, and we got a 9-month waiting process.
Just about.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
All right.